she's under a father's guidance. All right? It's important for the father to be around. We have to do that as fathers. It's things that the sisters can't do for the daughter that we can provide. Listen, if you're absent, their self-esteem is low. And a lot of times they go out and they do their own thing. Hey, the man that leads properly, that guides his house properly, guess what? That's considered a hero for her mental state. Like, oh, my daddy is my hero. We got to guide them in the ways of the Bible. This is how we got to move as fathers. Look, ain't no way in hell you sneaking out or no nigga sneaking in. I be damn you get pregnant in my house. This is what we have to do as fathers. Today, we're going to jump right into it. The elements, what is it? The element of manhood, right? The title of this topic is She's Under a Father's Guidance. She's under a father's guidance. All right? So, right off the bat, you should know what that's talking about then. It's talking about the daughter. Yes, the daughter, right? So, we're going to get into it. I want to start with Romans. And then I got an article we're going to go through. And then we're going to hit some scriptures. All right? So let's start at Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right. So the things we're going to read aforetime is written for our learning. Us coming in this truth, us in this truth for the years that we've been in this truth, we still continue to learn, right? We got to go to the Bible, and especially to guide the kids, right? Because there's a neglect in the world. The world not doing it. We were once in the world. Some of us fresh in this. And guess what? We still may have some old thoughts that we thought was right according to the world or the ways that was taught to us, but it wasn't. So we got to learn these things, right? And it's important for us to take heed to this. So if you got ears, if you listening, put on your listening ears and your understanding heart, because we're going to get into it, all right? So let's continue. So it says what? It was written for our what?
Written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
Might have hope. Yes, there's hope that it could be a nation that's not desired can gather back together, right? Once we come on one accord, meaning if we get our house in order, we get this structure right, guess what? We'll be all right. Right. We can come back as a nation. It starts at home, though. It starts with us as fathers ruling over our house properly, guiding the kids, guiding the boys, and definitely guiding the daughters, right? Let's continue. Let's go to Titus chapter 2. Titus chapter 2. This is a part on the mothers, but I want to read it because it's important. It's important. And us as being heads of our house, the head of the house, we got to make sure if there's because some brothers don't have a wife, right? So that means you got to make sure this part get fulfilled. And how's this part gonna get fulfilled if you just the father in the house? That means you need to get your daughter around elder sisters, right? Sisters that can help groom them to being a proper wife one day, right? Or making sure they do all the daughter things, all the girl stuff that they need to do with the sister, right? So watch this. Let's read that.
Titus chapter 2, verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine,
read.
Teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
This is important. So the aged women teaches the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, and what?
Love their children.
And love their children. This is important because this is a neglect in the community today, right? So you may say, well, that's for the women. This is important because that foundation has to happen. Those key things come through the women, right? Being overseen by the men of the household, making sure, okay, you didn't bring that scripture out properly. So give the young sister this scripture, guide the young sister this. It's all up to us at the end of the day, right? So they're filtering through us. So let's drop that. Let's pull, let me get another. Give me 22, Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
The book of Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
This is important. This is something that we must incorporate, right? We have to. This is commanded here for us to train up a child in the way that they should grow. We have to do that as fathers. It's things that the sisters can't do for the daughter that we can provide, right? Because we know men.
Right.
We know that nigga ain't no good. I see the little dude in the class, then the brother you think you like in the school. All he do is look at the girls' butts.
We know all the tricks.
He don't study. His daddy told me he ain't right in the head. Something wrong with him. That ain't the one. So we know. It's our job. So what?
Train up a child in the way he should go.
We must train up a child in the way that they should go. Right? So, hey, let's pull this article real quick. Let's pull this article. This is important. This article is great information on this article right here. This is read that real quick. It says what?
An insight into the beautiful bond between a father and a daughter.
Right. Don't mind the Esau face.
Right.
Damn devil. Don't mind that. But nevertheless, this is an important article right here because it goes into a few different things that we're going to go over. And Esau is well studied. If it was an Edomite that pulled this out, it says by Shang-Chi something. I don't know how you pronounce it, whatever. So this is important right here that we look into this because it goes into, matter of fact, what is the title of the site? It says First Cry Parenting, right? So this is their site, right? Well, let's scroll down. Scroll up. Let's get that first part, that small one. Yep.
Right. Fathers and daughters have a unique bond. Women who have a good relationship with their fathers are lucky enough to look back at their fond memories when they grow up. Having a good relationship with her father not only shapes a girl's childhood experience, but also influences her behavior towards other men later in life.
Right. So it influences her behavior, right? Keep going.
If a girl's father erratic or completely absent by nature, then it creates a feeling of low self-esteem in her, and she might have trouble trusting men in general.
This is important. It says the absence of a father, right? It what?
The absent by nature, then it creates a feeling of low self-esteem in her, and she might have trouble trusting men in general.
It's going to create a low self-esteem in her from the absence of a father, and she may have trouble trusting in men in general.
Right.
It's important for the father to be around. This is important. And this is why we see when the father's not around, what happens is in the world, or, in some cases when a man in the truth, men in the truth don't necessarily step up, or it wouldn't even be the case for them stepping up because we want to be around.
Right.
It's usually on the single mother side where she don't bring the sister around men, aged men that can help be that hedge over them.
Right.
And what happens is they have that lack of fatherhood or whatnot around them. Guess what? Now they self-esteem is affected. And we see it in the world today where they go out, now they hoes. Now they don't trust a man, but men ain't no good for some reason, so they got 5, 6, 7 men thinking they the pimps, they the players. This is what we see. It's important for the father to be around. Whether you're the father that's not in the house with your kids, and it's that may be a tough situation because it may be custody battles.
Right.
It may be this and that. You do what you can to the moment where, okay, if it gets to a point where they're 200 500 miles away, right? And you still may have to see them every now and then just to put yourself around, that to know, okay, the father's still in the life. I ain't neglect you. I ain't no this or that, right? Some situations may be hard. It may be tough. But listen, if you're absent, their self-esteem is low. And a lot of times they go out and they do their own thing, right? So let's continue to read on this.
Therefore, every parent should appreciate and understand the importance of a father's role in the life of a girl. Why is the father-daughter relationship important?
Why is the father and daughter's relationship important? Scroll down for us. Up or whatever, back towards the top. That's perfect. There you go.
All right. Building a father-daughter relationship at a young age is an essential aspect of a girl's psychological adjustments. Being emotionally attached to her father benefits a girl throughout her life. Here are some reasons why a strong bond between the father and daughter is crucial. Fathers are role models. They lay a foundation of security, trust, and love. Daughters tend to judge all the other men who come into their lives later based on the example their father set for them. A girl develops confidence and self-esteem if she has a good bond with her father. When a father gets involved in his daughter's education, she tends to do better as compared to girls whose fathers never get involved. Girls have a better career because of early influence of their fathers. They become more successful and achieve-oriented.
Right, so we see the benefits of a father being in the house or around the daughters. The bond with the father and the daughter, right? So let's jump down. Say, how does a father influence his daughter's life, right?
Every father-daughter relationship goes through 3 different phases. Some are difficult while others are easy and fun, but they are all important.
Scroll, come on, keep going.
Number 1, when she is a child, also known as the hero dad princess daughter phase. This first phase is easy and fun. During this phase, the daughter is the darling little princess, and the dad is her superhero. At this age, the father influences the daughter in the following ways: mental and emotional development.
So this is important, to be around your daughter, right? To be in her life, a consistent state, because now she sees this hedge is her superhero, right? Watch this, hold this, and let's go to Obadiah real quick. It's another one I want, but this one that just popped in my head. Obadiah, we're going to read verse, is it 18 or 21? 21.
The book of Obadiah, verse 21. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau.
With those saviors is us at the end of the day, right? So establishing with your daughters, right, understanding that, hey, the man that leads properly, that guides his house properly, guess what? That's considered a hero for her mental state. Like, oh, my daddy is my hero, right? So when she gets Go to Matthew chapter 19 and read verse 5. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 5.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
Right. So we read this. Go back to Genesis. Let's get that in Genesis. Read what you got.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and
Verse 16.
16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow, thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
And desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over thee, right? So establishing from her youth that the man is the superhero, the man is the head, the man is the one that's going to save her. It's the same thing when she get a husband. Right. Now she understands, okay, the man, it's importance to have a man around. That's one of the importances to have a man around, is that he's the superhero. He's a savior. He's my savior. They got to understand this from youth. This is important for us to have play up the role that we must play in the house, right? As fathers, as leaders, we have to follow this, right? Let's continue. Let's go back to the article.
Mental and emotional development. During the early stages of a girl's life, the involvement of her father helps in her emotional and mental development. Children who are attached to their fathers are better at finding solutions to general problems. They also show less anxiety and withdrawal behaviors when they are close to their fathers. A sense of security. Feeling secure is important for a girl as she grows up. It enables her to thrive in a relatively safe environment if she knows that her father is watching out for her. She also develops self-confidence and is free of inhibitions.
Right, so the girl must feel secure. Right, this is important that we see this. They must feel secure. Let's go back to Titus. Let's go back to Titus. Now, we was at Titus 2. Let's start at the first verse. The role of a man, right? Or in our case, over our kids, we're considered the aged man, right? Or young, but we still aged above them, right? Let's read this.
Titus chapter 2, verse 1.
Come on.
But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity.
This is important. These are things that we must have. We got to be sober. We got to be serious. Not easily losing our temper, right?
Right.
Come on.
And patience.
And what?
Patience.
We got to be patient. We have to. Not only dealing with the state of the flock, brothers you may be over, right? But as with your household, we know it get tough. We know it be issues in the household, but you still got to be patient. You got to have that spirit, and this is important for us. All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's go back.
Number 2, when she is a teenager, this is a tricky phase. The daughter might start rolling her eyes at everything her father says, and it is not a very enjoyable phase for the father. In this situation, relationship problems may occur between a father-daughter. This phase starts when she is 11 years old and ends after she turns 21. This stage might get a little confusing for the father, but he must not forget that she is trying to figure out herself and the world. Many fathers prefer to step back a little and help her raise her self-esteem.
So now this is tricky, right? I wanted to make this disclaimer because there's some things in here that you got to just take with a grain of salt. Let's go to Ephesians real quick. Ephesians. I think I want this. Let me see. Does it say 6 and 4? Read that for me.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
Jump up. Let's start at verse 1.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth.
Right. So this is important right here. And this is important because now it's going to be this, right? Because we know, granted, brothers, if y'all ain't know, there ain't no righteous. I want to say this. That's wicked women. That he found none that was perfect, right?
Out of 1,000.
Out of 1,000, like, you know what I'm saying? So they going to have some flaws in them, basically what I'm getting at. They're going to have flaws, right? So Lord's will, they ain't rolling their eyes, but they probably will when they get older. Your damn wife do it. And she teaching them, so they probably going to learn that. But you got to make sure you keep teaching them the law. So read that again. Watch this.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1.
2.
Verse 2. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
Right. So it's telling the children to honor thy parents, right? So they wouldn't have known that unless you taught them. So you're guiding them. You're training them in the way that they should go. You're grooming them. Right? Come on.
That it may be well with thee.
That it what?
May be well with thee. And thou mayest live long on the earth. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
Right, so we teaching them, hey, this is going to be well. This is how you live forever, by honoring your mother and your father, right? Come on.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
But we can't teach them wicked. We can't teach them sin. We can't let them go into that. Come on.
But bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
We got to bring them up in the what?
Nurture and admonition of the Lord.
We got to guide them in the ways of the Bible. This is how we got to move as fathers. Colossians chapter 3. Chapter 3. And let's read verse 21.
Colossians chapter 3 and verse 21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged.
Jump up to 20.
Verse 20, yeah. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord.
So what we're establishing is that we're teaching the kids. So a lot of this stuff can be avoided, even when they become teenagers or whatnot, if we teach them, honor. If we teach them how to respect, right? Because and we tell them, hey, this is important because this is how you live forever. If you disrespectful to not only, ones in the wicked in the world, but a righteous mother and father, you think you going to get blessed? You think good come to you? You think you going to have a long life? Nah, you walking contrary to what the scriptures say. So this is stuff we got to implement in the daughter's mind, right? Watch this. Keep going.
Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged.
But us as fathers, we got to know how to guide the kids, right? We got to lead them the right way, unless they be discouraged, lest they run up, move the wrong way, fall into wickedness. This is why we have to do our part and making sure we're following the ways, the laws, like is stated in the last scripture, the Bible. At the end of the day, this is what we got to stick to. And a lot of stuff can be avoided, right? So let's go back. There's some more on this.
Moral guidance. The father's connection and communication will help the daughter make the right decisions. A father should provide stability and moral guidance to his daughters, because this is the time when she is surrounded and tempted by bad influences.
This is important right here. We have to do this. Let's get 1 Corinthians 15. 15 and 33.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
It what?
Corrupt good manners.
Evil communication corrupts good manners. So when it said, what did it say on that part? the moral guidance. Read that one more time.
The father's connection and communication will help the daughter make the right decisions. A father should provide stability and more guidance.
It's important that the father connect and communicate properly with the daughter, because she already surrounded by what? Surrounded and tempted by what?
Bad influences.
Because the world around us have bad influences. Me and my boys were watching the show earlier, and it's many shows like this, especially now today, right? It's many shows where they're inserting some type of sodomy in there. Some
Every
wickedness
time.
in there. And every show right now got scenes of little kids kissing. It's been like this since we was young, but everything they're kissing, right? And they make it seem like it's innocent, but it's not. Just like they had the Netflix at the thing with the daughters dancing, with the half-naked daughters, the cheerleader squads or whatever. They thought that was a good thing to post. Come on now. But we see the world, the influences of the world. We see the bad influences. It's important for us to guide our kids. So when we read that again.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Evil communications corrupt good manners. There's a lot of evil in the world.
And man, if they go to school, boy, God, dog. If they go to
if they're in school, it enhances.
Very much.
It enhances. The school is wicked. I've seen this firsthand. We know we're experiencing in school, but having kids that went to public schools, I've seen it firsthand.
Me too.
It's not a good thing.
Hell, I was a school teacher.
Right. It's so much wickedness. So it's important for us to know that, hey, we have to guide our house. Let's go to Sirach chapter 18. Sirach chapter 18.
The book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse, you want 30?
Yep.
Verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
That thing is an appetite. And that thing it's what do you call it? It's enticing. It says don't go after that lust. That's a lust of the world. It's a lust. It's a big lust. What's the word I'm looking for? It's so much lust in the world, it destroys our kids, right? If they get consumed, they're gone. They're gone. So us as fathers, tell to our daughters, we gotta be serious. Though we're patient, though we have the charity, we gotta be serious. We gotta stand firm. We gotta be like, hey, hold on. It's important. Watch this, because the world is so enticing. Go to Genesis chapter 34. Genesis chapter 34. World enticing. And if you ain't watching over your child right, your daughter, it'll have your daughter going off. Watch what one of our sisters a fourth time went off. Genesis 34. Start at 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 34, and verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor.
So who daughter was this?
The daughter of
Jacob.
Jacob.
Right? She went off what?
Went out to see the daughters of the land.
She went out in the world to see the daughters of the land. What they doing? Oh, I heard about them. Maybe she was seeing them. We don't know you don't know. All we know is that she went off and she went into some damn wickedness. It was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. Man, it got me thinking now. Because when we read it, it separates. It went and put the daughter of Leah. Right? That was the one that he really didn't love like,
Right.
he didn't really love her like that. But it started off with, and I'm just thinking right now,
Yeah, I
y'all.
know,
But just
yeah.
bear with. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like, why did the name Leah first? Now we can say like it just want to let you know this is the daughter of Leah. But why ain't say Jacob's daughter from Leah or something like that? Because she wasn't like, Jacob wasn't like in there dealing with her like
Nah, he
that.
wasn't studying her.
That's why the conclusion come, because she went off.
Right.
She went off. She went into the world. And what happened?
And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and
He
lay
what?
with her. He took
saw
her.
her.
Right.
That man came up. This other little nation, this other nation came up. And he what?
Took her
He what?
and lay with her
And he laid with her.
and
he was-
defiled her.
So he went, he probably ain't had to say too much. He was smooth with it. He didn't have to say too much. But it was a lack of something in there where she went off. She saw the things of the world, the lust of the world. She didn't flee from it. She went to it. And it was a what do you call it? A youthful lust. Was that Timothy 1?
2 Timothy
2
2
Timothy 2?
and 22.
Let's get that.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart.
This is something that wasn't there. She didn't flee. It was this, because remember, these things, we know that these things in the world are enticing. Everything. We're subject to it. But what happened is, some of us, if you ain't guiding your daughters right, if you're not moving over them right, they gonna do this right here. Go to Timothy. Go to 1 John. They're gonna be lovers of something, and it ain't God. First John, what is that? 2 and 15, 3 and 15, 2 and 15. Read that.
1 John chapter 2 verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
We're gonna have some that's gonna love the world. They're gonna be watching these shows and they gonna think that that's the way to live. Because we Israelites, we're going through hardship, and you're not in your house right. You're not guiding. You're being absent. You're avoiding certain conversations that you gotta have. You're avoiding these things. You're not grooming them properly with the laws, giving them an understanding of, hey, you know what happened here? You know what happened in the Bible? They leaves them off. Keep going.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Guess what? And those that love the world, the love of the Father is not in them. Is that it?
It's a little more.
Come on.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh.
The lust of the what?
The flesh.
This is important, because this is what happens. They become consumed, indoctrinated by the ways of the world. So they love the lust of the flesh. Come on.
The lust of the eyes.
What they see. Oh, this looks nice. Come on.
And the pride of life.
And the pride of life, meaning the life that's out there. That's what they've been enticed with or by. They love it. It's important for us to be the hedges of our house, the fathers in the household, to guide the daughters. We're going to read a little more on it. What can happen? We just read, go back. Is that it? We finished that off?
It's not of the Father, but is of the world.
It's not of the Father, but is of the world. Now read one more verse.
Verse 17.
We have to let them know that what?
And the world passeth away.
That the world is going to pass away. So you talking to your daughter, you're like, hey, you see that stuff out there? That's going to pass away. All that's going to burn. Make it plain to them. Okay, you in school, you learned about this. What happened to this civilization? It died. What happened to this civilization? It died. What happened to this one? It died. What the Bible say about these people? They died. What happened in Noah's time? It died. What were they missing? The laws. This is important. So you teaching them the world, when you in the world, it's past these things, it passed away. This same world right now, there's no laws in effect and it's gonna pass away. These are things we have to input in our daughters' brains. Right? Our kids in general, but specifically our daughters, because them the ones that's getting pregnant.
Right.
They the ones that got to sit there 9 months with the baby in their stomach. Right? And don't let them get pregnant and in the world, and they go to the school system and they can go to the counselor and never come in you, and they end up at an abortion clinic because that's the way the world works now.
Right.
Now your daughter got pregnant and in her head and killed the baby the same damn time. Because if you said, hey, I work a lot, or whatever, you may work a lot, or whatever the case may be, maybe whatever your lame excuse is. Because it's lame.
Right.
Not to guide your household, not to make sure you put your foot down when it comes to your daughter. Genesis 34. Let's get some more on that, man, because it's important. This is good history right here.
The book of Genesis, chapter 34, and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter.
His daughter was defiled. Now his daughter been defiled. He's supposed to disown her. But he was willing to do something here.
Right.
Watch this. Keep going.
Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth.
They were what?
Very wroth.
They were pissed off.
Right.
The brothers understood, like, hold on, this ain't right. They were pissed off. They were angry of what this nigga, this damn heathen did to their sister.
Right.
Come on.
Because he had wrought folly in Israel, in line with Jacob's daughter.
He brought what?
Folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter.
And lying with Jacob's daughter. Uh-huh.
Which thing ought not to be done.
Why? Why was that thing not to be done? This is important too, because we read about this law where? Let's go. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. This is important. These are laws that we got to show our daughters because they growing up, of course, the flesh, right? Oh, I like that. He's pretty. But guess what? That's a heathen. No, hell no. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Uh-huh.
Thy daughter.
It's talking about the other nations here, right? Read.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Your daughters, don't give them to their sons. Don't go to the other nations with your daughter. This is important too because it goes back into the men giving off the daughters for marriage.
Right.
And the Bible says don't give your daughter to another nation. But keep going.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take into thy son. Come on.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Because they would turn away from following God. Come on.
That they may serve other gods.
And they will end up serving other gods. Just like you see in all these king movies, right? It's important for them to, and the importance is, hey, we got to have a boy because that boy can keep our lineage. But when the daughter is given off, the lineage leaves.
Right.
Now, and either way, if they given off to another nation, now they end up serving other gods. Now you got grandkids with by another nation. Well, you got grandkids from another nation, and they serving other gods. That don't sound good at all.
Man, they gotta hurt.
That hurts. This important right here. And the brothers knew that in Genesis. Go back. Genesis. The brothers knew that. And watch what they did.
The book of Genesis, chapter 34 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter.
Jump down to verse 25. Let's get to the point.
Verse 25. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males.
This is important right here. Wait, before we get, because when we jump up, let's jump up to verse 12. I think I want 12.
Verse 12. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall see, ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife.
Right, so they wanted to see grace, right, in this eye. So verse 11, then we'll keep reading.
Verse 11, And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said,
they answered him deceitfully.
Right.
Okay. Keep going.
Because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this we will consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised.
Right, so he said every male in that town, and where you from, your people get circumcised. But they were dealing deceitfully. Let's get to the point. What happened?
Verse 25.
24.
And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son, hearken all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised. All that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister.
Right. So they killed them niggas.
Everybody.
They killed them all because they defiled his sister. But it shows you that when the daughter goes off into the world, she's easily enticed. She into the world, she easily enticed. And guess what happened? She get defiled. Because a man, just like when the dude was dealing with Eve, what the dude did with Eve, what'd he do? He enticed her.
Tricked her.
He tricked her.
You know what? This reminds me of what I heard Bishop say one time. He said his father-in-law got mad at him because he wouldn't let his daughter go to the store for him. He said his daughter-in-law was trying to get, he wanted Bishop's daughter to go to the store for him. Bishop said, hell no, I ain't let my daughter go nowhere.
Right.
He was talking about how bad it was out there, saying that, you know, we got to keep an eye on our daughters. We can't just let them roam freely.
We have to. It's important.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Let's continue. Since we on this topic, let's go to Sirach. Sirach chapter 42. We're going to read verse 8, and we're going to go read down.
Sirach chapter 42, verse 8. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish, and the extreme age that contended with those that are young. Thus shalt thou be truly learned and approved of all men living. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth.
It says what?
The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth.
The father wakes for the daughter when no man knoweth. So he up. Hold on. Oh, out of the blue, he just get up. Like, let me check. Go in the room and check. Okay, she's sound asleep. Okay. Let me go double check the doors. Let me go double check they lock properly. Go ahead.
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
And the care for her take away sleep. He lose sleep. Because what we was talking about. He loses sleep. Especially when you got older daughters.
Right.
You lose sleep. Come on.
When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age. And being married, lest she should be hated. In her virginity, lest she be defiled.
Right. So we got to make sure you watch over her. So she won't end up being defiled at a young age. This is important. Come on.
And gotten with child in her father's house.
And gotten with child in her father's house. So what did that mean? She went out to the world. She opened the window, jumped out, and went and saw the dude that she wasn't supposed to see.
Right.
She been doing some wicked stuff. That's why he up. He making sure she good. The father gonna watch over the daughter because he know how he was when he was young in the world. I gotta go over her house, bro. I gotta. Just leave the window crack.
Right.
When they go to sleep, just leave it cracked.
And let me know when your mom and them leave.
When they leave, when they go to look, it's summertime. They going to work. Just leave the door open in the back. I'll come through the back. Or let's sneak out. They leave. When they leave, you leave. Just like that. This is how we rolled back then.
Right.
So we know. That's why the father up. He said, hey, there ain't no way. Look, ain't no way in hell you sneaking out or no nigga sneaking in. I be damn you get pregnant in my house. This is what we have to do as fathers. We got to watch our kids, our daughters. We got to be like that hawk, that eagle eye. Y'all remember that movie, Eagle Eye? You remember that? With the dude that played on, what's the young brother that played on Transformers? Eagle Eye was they had the cameras that they saw everything. The camera saw everything.
Right.
Wherever a camera was, even on your phone, they were watching you. Right? That's how the father got to be for his daughter. He got to be like, he got to have, you know the saying, I got eyes in the back of my head. He got to have eyes when he got to be seeing stuff while he sleep. The father going to be asleep, but he's seeing everything because he worried. He up. He really up. Hey, this is something too, man. Some of you brothers, and I'm going on a rant right now, you got to get your health right. It's important. Because especially if you got daughters, meaning when you eating wrong, you sleeping all whack. You can't wake up. You can't walk in the look. If somebody walking in the room, you supposed to be able to just get up.
Right.
Unless you you just super tired. You supposed to be able to just get up and be like, I don't know what you doing. Or you hear a crack that ain't supposed to be that noise at the time of the night. You supposed to get up. But some of y'all, brother, eating habits, the way your health is out of order. So when you got daughters now that you eating all whack and stuff, you're not able to get up like you're supposed to be back like this.
Rude.
This is something you got to take heed to, all right? But the point is, hey, the father, he lose sleep to make sure he watch over his daughter. Come on.
And having a husband, lest she should misbehave herself. And when she is married, lest she should be barren.
Right. So it's showing you that, hey, this father was supposed to guide her properly. Right? Come on.
Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter.
He say keep a what?
A sure watch over a shameless daughter.
Uh-oh, you got to keep a sure watch over her. Come on.
Lest she make thee a laughing stock.
Unless she make you a laughing stock.
Damn.
And this is important too for us in this truth to make sure we follow this, because our enemies is our family in the world. Everybody in the world, right? The ones that ain't following this truth. Guess what happens? They end up saying, oh, you supposed to be the one that's keeping the laws and righteous, but look at your daughter.
Right. Laughing stock.
Look at her. Ha, ha. Would you look at her? Would you look at that? This is what we see. This can happen, right? Let's continue.
Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter,
Uh-huh.
lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies,
That she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies. Come on.
and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people,
Uh-huh.
and make thee ashamed before the multitude.
And she gonna make you ashamed. And that's what happened in the past. You get disowned. Well, you ain't making me ashamed. Nah, you got pregnant in my house. You was doing something I taught you, and you went out anyway. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Go with them. Go with their mama.
Right.
Now that's your father and your mother. Go on over that way. That's you ashamed in front of the multitude. We see this, right? Sirach 26:10.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
That she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. You gotta, if she be shameless, keep her in. You gotta protect her. You gotta watch over her. Lest she abuse herself, lest she go out. Lest she fall into the lust of the world. It's important for us as fathers to rule over our daughters, guide them properly. They need our guidance. They need that hero. They need to know that, okay, yeah, I can show you. I'm gonna show you how men are, because I'm a man. I'm gonna tell you how they gonna smooth talk you. I'll show you all this. Take heed to it though. These are the things we must do. Right? Is that it?
That's it. They got to stay busy too. That's why I said they got to.
Uh-huh.
Because that's why we got to make sure we got things for our daughters to do, so they won't have too much liberty, too much free time.
Right. You gotta keep them. You gotta keep them in. You gotta just like the boys, just our kids. You gotta give them chores.
Right.
You gotta give them things to do. Make them active. If you doing something, I think it says it in here, in this article. But ways you can help them is what? Okay, you going out and about, and it ain't for work, and it ain't for other business. Take your daughter with you. Let her ride with you. Point out stuff like, hey, this wickedness. You see that? Don't fall for this. Don't fall for that. You see them holding hands? Maybe they not married or something. You see them look, or if they little kids, they ain't married. You see them little kids holding that? That ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Why they smooching on each other? These are the things, right? But let's continue. Let's keep reading on that.
Verse 11. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Don't marvel if she trespass against you.
She will open her mouth
Uh-huh.
as a thirsty traveler, when he had found a fountain, and drink of every water near her.
Uh-huh.
By every hedge.
Read it again. It said what?
She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler.
This is when your daughter get out of hand. You gave her that liberty. You didn't watch over her with what it said, an impudent eye. Marvel, you didn't do that. Watch this. Come on.
When he had found a fountain, and drink of every water near her.
Uh-huh.
By every hedge will she sit down.
Now she what? She a hoe.
What?
She is a hoe. And guess what?
And open her quiver against every arrow.
Man,
Damn.
this is what we in the world. They ain't got no fathers that's in the house. Guess what happens?
She gonna be gone.
She hoe. That's why you see them. That's why we knew when we was young, they were 13, 14. I can go further back than that. They were in elementary getting it in.
Right.
in elementary. They were hoes in elementary.
By the time they turn 18,
They
ruined.
experienced hoes. They turn
Yep.
18.
It's over.
They looser than hallways. They more open than hallways, I should say. It's a damn shame. Ain't look, you ain't look, ain't look. How did they trying to get married now? But they don't know how to be a woman. They don't know how to be a wife. They haven't learned these things. They haven't learned to how to have a man that provides for you the proper way. They haven't learned. They haven't gotten the guidance because the neglect of the father, whether he's in the house and being absent, or he's totally absent at all. It's important for us to guide our daughters. We got to be there, or else they turn into hoes. It is what it is. They're gonna find things of the world enticing, and the things of the world better than the ways of the truth, which is ridiculous. They're gonna find that enticing. That's more. They're gonna love that. And guess what? They're gonna fall. All right. Let's keep going. Let's go. Proverbs 11. Excuse me.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right.
Whether the work be what?
Pure and whether it be right.
Whether the work be pure and whether it be right. Whether it be pure or right. They're known. So we got to understand this, right? Let's continue. Let's go back to the article, and then I got a few more.
Body image. Having a good relationship with the father will help the girl make healthier choices in life. She also will have increased confidence. Fathers who are affectionate towards girls provide them with a sense of self-worth and ability to deal with conflicts with their fathers. On the absence of a father eventually leads to low self-esteem in girls.
Mm-hmm.
Education. Scroll. Girls are more likely to get straight A's when the father is involved in academics. They also have better intellectual functioning and verbal skills. When she is an adult, also known as the world's greatest daughter phase, this is the best phase. In this phase, both can understand and communicate with each other. This is the time when a father can guide his daughter in her career, marriage, and love.
In her career, marriage, and love. Right? So a father, right? And as she becoming older, she get through the young ages where you stay around them. And this is something too. Watch this. Go to Deuteronomy. And this is for the kids in general. Chapter 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. Yeah, that's what we want. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in the house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
So we're supposed to teach the laws to our kids, right? As they grow, as they go, right? We must teach them. Morning, throughout the day, when we're moving around, even when they're going to bed, we need to implement these things in their life. The laws, right? The ways. We got to be here for them, right? So that being said, as they grow older throughout throughout life, you done guided them properly. They ain't go have sex in the world. They ain't get hoed out. They ain't no hoe.
Right.
They hearken into your words. They're listening, right? And as they get older, they become at the marriage age where they can be passed off to another man. It's ways that we follow. It's a way to deal with that, right? It's our duty. And meanwhile, the father, you see the daughter, you in the congregations with the brothers and sisters, you prove the brothers and sisters. You already see the young brother. Okay, that brother wicked. He ain't doing right. Hey, man, how your son doing, bro? He studied. He read. Yeah, that brother in the Bible every day. Yeah, man, I'm thinking, man, I don't know, man. Maybe we can arrange some, you know, your son and my daughter. It's gonna be a while though, but we can do it. Maybe that could be the case, just like of old times. If you following it right, if you'd have guided them and they following the ways from youth, then they understand the system and order. They go to you, not say, "Hey, Father, I want him." No, Father, pick one for me.
Right.
Help me, because I don't know how men. You a man, help me pick me one. This is stuff that we gotta do, right? Sirach chapter 7. Let's read verse 23.
Sirach chapter 7, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
Hast thou children? Instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth.
Right. We got kids, instruct them and bow down thy neck from thy youth. Right? So when it comes to us dealing with our kids or giving our daughters off, right? Which some of us, it may be a long time. Like, nah, you need to be out of college, established. You got to have it all. We need it done. You understand? But watch this. We got to make sure that we what? Read it again.
Hast thou children?
Uh-huh.
Instruct them.
We have to instruct them properly. Come on.
And bow down their neck from their youth.
And what?
Bow down their neck from their youth.
And bow down their neck from their youth. Uh-huh.
Hast thou daughters? Have care of their body.
Yeah, what?
Have care of their body.
If you got daughters, have care of their body.
And show not thyself cheerful toward them.
Uh-huh.
Marry thy daughter.
Marry what?
Thy daughter.
Marry thy daughter. Marry thy daughter. What is it saying? You marry her off.
What?
That's what it's saying. That's what we did. We married our daughters off. Come on.
And so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
Uh-huh. And that's a weighty matter.
Right.
But you performed it. Come on.
But give her to a man of understanding.
Give her to a man of understanding. So it's important to understand that the men gave off the daughters. It's a new thing on earth now. Women think they can just go find a man.
Right.
Kevin Samuels helped the sisters out with that. Hopefully they listen. We've been talking about this forever. They ain't getting it right. But look, the man's supposed to lead the daughter. The man's supposed to get a daughter off, not the woman going to search for a man, and what she find is a nigga in a club thinking that's the husband. Nigga in the streets. And he say he married to the streets, so he ain't really gonna be loyal to you. We gotta give our daughters off. We gotta make sure they give it off to what?
Give her to a man of understanding.
Give her to a man of understanding. Watch this. Go to Ephesians 5. It's a point I want to hear. Because as we're guiding and instructing our kids, our daughters, we got to let them know this is how they need to move. This is the only way they need to move right here. Get that verse 21.
Verse 21. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands.
Right. So these are the things that we must, and just like our wives going to tell the sisters, okay. For some of us, that's you married, you say, hey, tell your daughter, the wives tell the daughters, this is how you need to be towards your husband. Right? But watch this.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
Read.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. And he is the savior of the body.
Right. So that's how we know the husband is the savior for the wife.
Right.
Watch this. Keep going.
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
In everything. Watch this.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church.
This is how important it is, because for the father to be there. He's going to pick that one that is going to love you. He's picking the one, meaning he knows, okay, this man has understanding and wisdom. He's applying the commandments. I see him at every feast. Every feast I've been at, I seen him at. He's coming every Sabbath. That's the one right there. He keeps himself groomed. He's moving right. He got a great education, or whatever the case may be. You know, the criteria of what you have for your daughter. You got to lay it out, and that person has it. You know he's gonna live up to this standard of loving your daughter, because you proved him over time. You've learned this young man. It's our duty to do this, right? Let's go to Tobit. I got a couple more scriptures, y'all. Couple more. Gotta get out of here. Tobit chapter 10.
The book of Tobit, chapter 10 and verse 12. You want verse 12?
Yeah.
Verse 12. And he said to his daughter, honor thy father and thy mother-in-law, which are now thy parents.
This is something important too. And it's going to be difficult, you know, because a lot of us come in this truth and our parents. Well, let me step back. It says, read this again.
And he said to his daughter, honor thy father and thy mother-in-law, which are now thy parents.
Honor thy father and thy mother-in-law, which is now thy parents. It's that going through that marriage, right? She become married. You still guide your daughter, right? You still giving, well, you're transferring the guidance to the husband now. But you're letting her know this is going to be the case. You got married off, guess what? Now that's your parents as well. Now that's the parents as well.
Right.
You still give her that fatherly guidance, right? Those are your parents now. And it's important for us as fathers to pick the ones, and well, in some cases, the mother's gonna be in the world, right? For the older brothers, some cases their parents is off in the world.
Right.
You know, but for us ones, the younger daughters and stuff, we picking the ones, you know, that's in here that's young. Hopefully, you're grooming up the young brother. You're like, okay, yeah, his parents, they doing good. They studying. Their brother a soldier. Their brother officer. He doing well. They in the spirit. Okay, great. You know. So now we know them. Either way, they still you passing them off. Now you say, hey, now you got another father, another mother. You got to honor them as well. You're grooming the daughters, right? This is important too. This is important. And as you know, as they're growing up in different stages, know this too. Let's go to, I want to get this point out, and then we can wrap it up here. Go to Numbers. Numbers. Chapter 30. Just like, you know, us, the husbands dealing with their wives, dealing with their prayers, right? They make a vow to the Lord. If it's good, we can let it go. If it's bad, or if it don't make sense, if it's not adding up, we like, no, we praying to the Father like, no, don't honor this vow. This prayer, don't let this go through. This ain't right. We do this for our daughters as well. So we grooming them, we teaching them, we guiding them throughout life, right? We're making sure, and this is important too, because when you train them up their way to go, you dealing with them throughout the ages and stages of life. That means you praying with them.
Right.
That means you with them, you hearing their prayers. And watch what the Bible says. Read this.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. If a man vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth. If a woman also vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth.
And being in her father's house in her youth.
And her father hear her vow.
And you hear her vow. You hear, okay, the vow she made with God. Come on.
and her bond wherewith she had bound her soul. And her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand.
And he said, okay, I hear it. Okay, cool. It's going to stand. But come on.
And every bond wherewith she have bound her soul shall stand.
Read.
But if her father disallow her.
But if he say, no way, I want the Lord to accept this. Ain't no way. Come on.
In the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand.
Shall stand. None of that shall stand. Is that it?
And the Lord shall forgive her because her father disallowed her.
And the Lord going to forgive her because her father disallowed her. So it's important. We know how important the father role is in the house. How strong our role is in the house. It even allows us to rule over our, just, of course, not just our wives, but even our daughters' prayers. Govern what they say out of their mouth to the Lord. This is important. We got to be in that house. We can't be absent, man. We can't. Right? Read this last thing and we can close out here. Go down. Because we went into it how you let them have that liberty, the access, they fall into the lust of the world and they be consumed. Right? They become hoes, thotties, all of the above. And they end up hating God in a sense, right? So the effects of an absent father. Read through these. Number 1, 2, 3.
Number 1, the absence of a father creates a void in the daughter's life, and others try to influence her attitude and actions. Such girls often allow people to define them and could exhibit attention-seeking behavior without even realizing it. The absence of a father might jumpstart puberty because it triggers hormone changes in girls. This reason alone.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And this goes back into what is it? This might be physical and mental right here. It jumpstarts puberty because it triggers hormonal changes in girls. We gotta be in the house. We gotta be in the house. Come on.
This reason alone, with so many behavior problems, could be one of the reasons why girls without fathers have early menstruation or teenage pregnancies.
And or what?
Teenage pregnancies.
We can't be absent, y'all. I know you work a lot. I know we prophets, we going to teach, we traveling, but we have to be in our daughters' lives. We have to. It's important for us to be in their lives. Come on.
Girls tend to seek the help of their fathers in their academics, especially when it comes to STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematical subjects. Girls without a father figure might have less interest in their subjects, and this might discourage them from pursuing a career in mathematics.
Keep going.
Scroll down. Okay. Fathers tend to bond better with their sons than daughters. However, with a little more understanding, fathers can feel very comfortable with their daughters and bond better with them too.
That's it I want on it. So we see the importance to being in our daughter's life, right? Not being absent fathers, guiding them properly, the way they should grow, right? We must do this as fathers. Because if we don't, they being taught by somebody else, taught by the world, I mean, their guidance is off, then they off. They fall into the lust of the world and they be consumed. And you to blame. You to blame. You wasn't there. You neglected to follow the ways of the Bible. All right, so we must be in our daughters' lives. Hey, all praise to the Most High Israel. Hey, that's all I got for you today. Y'all stay in the spirit. Hey, let's take heed to these things, man. Let's take heed. I know I got a daughter. I know, look.
Me too.
Look, I got her. So you watch over her, man. You tell her, hey, she moving around like a damn boy. You better stop that. She's sitting, she don't know how to sit down properly. You got to get on her. You can't look. That's why I read when we read Titus, man, we got to be serious. We have to be serious with our daughters. We can't joke around. All right? But all praise to the Most High. Y'all, hey, shalom, Most High, Christ bless.
Shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.